So some steps that have already been announced, of course, follow protocols. There will be genome sequencing to be heightened at the laboratories. There will be testing that will also be heightened up. But amid all this, the focus is back on China, which means there's now also a demand. Should the flights coming in from China be suspended temporarily? In this report, we tell you how that demand is increasing and standing up here in India.
China's worst COVID nightmare once again threatens the world. A runaway rise in infections with over 1 million deaths predicted this year. Here in India, even as the government goes into a huddle to plan ahead for any possible impact, one of the first demands going up is for an immediate flight ban with China.
इस परिस्थिति में मैंने ये मांग की है कि सबसे पहले हमको चीन से जो हवाई जहाज आ रहे हैं या चीन जा रहे हैं उनके ऊपर रोक लगानी चाहिए.
India currently has no direct flights with China, but several flights with stopovers in Hong Kong and countries like Singapore, South Korea and Vietnam. For the moment, there's no change in China-specific flight guidelines.
There is no decision with regard to any change in the aviation guidelines as of now.
Traditional direct flights between the big cities of both countries have been off the table since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. And while they've always been unlikely to resume anytime soon, China's knee-jerk cancellation of flight routes when even a single passenger tests positive, now the possibility of a total Indian ban could be looming. Before the current Chinese COVID crisis exploded, India and China had been in discussions to resume at least limited direct flights. But that seems a very far cry now. According to a survey done by community social media pollster Local Circle, 87% of Indians surveyed wanted total shutdown of all flights, including non-direct flights between India and China. 71% want mandatory quarantine for all passengers who've been to China in the last 2 weeks. Given what India faced thanks to inbound passengers from China in the early days of the pandemic, the nervousness is writ large in large sections of the public wanting blanket bans on flights. The question is, could things reach a pass where the government changes its mind and stops all flights to and from China? Bureau Report, India Today.